Now then guys, Billy, aka Redrum Retro, back again with another video. So today, the title, it says an unboxing. It semi-is and semi-isn't. They came in a box. I just checked over the shirts just to double check they're okay. So basically, situation, I've bought 10 Deadstock pieces off a friend who found them out in Europe. Some came in the plastic square bags that they used to come when displaying them in a record store or like a merchandise store. So with Deadstock, really, I tend to check if the condition's good and if they have dry rot. Obviously, doing an unboxing Deadstock, you know, it would have been cool to get my reaction, but honestly, I was absolutely gutted, and I'd like to double check to get sort of the best content, really. So out of the 10 t-shirts, 3 had dry rot. If you don't know what the term dry rot means, we'll go into that in a little bit of detail later in the video. I'm going to showcase those pieces. 2 probably the worst cases of dry rot I've ever had. 1, I think I might be able to save it. We'll see. It's one of those things, you've got to be just delicate with it. It's one of the best t-shirts out of the lot as well. But we're going to show you the 3 t-shirts that are not so good, that have, you know, been hit real bad. But then all the others are perfect. So we're going to showcase those and sort of go through them and talk about every piece. So yeah, let's get into the dry rot t-shirts first. It's okay, so for people that are not up to date with the term dry rot, basically it happens throughout all kinds of materials, not just cotton in tees, but it happens with everything. I've had pieces of corduroy that have real bad dry rot. It just happens over time. Specific with t-shirts, was something they used to put in the dye. Apparently they used to put some form of sulfur to turn the tee sort of black. But the thing is, with buying Deadstock shirts, you don't know where they've been sort of stored. So if they've been somewhere damp, if they've been somewhere mega hot, mega cold, that all affects how the t-shirt's going to come out when you unpackage it, you know. And unfortunately, like I say, 3 of the shirts here are quite bad. 2 of them worse than the other. Hopefully I can save the one that I really, really like. But yeah, it was something in the dye, and basically as you leave it over time, and if you don't wash the t-shirt, it slowly eats the material away and almost tears. You can tear it just as easy as paper. So let me get into the worst one first. Kind of heartbreaking, really. I've been looking for a lot of Pearl Jam stuff recently, but yeah, here's the first piece. Lovely, lovely bootleg Pearl Jam design, you know, sort of just so sick. But as you can see, try and get it on video, that big rip there just tears so easily. The worst case of dry rot I've ever had. The fact that you can sort of pull the collar apart, you know, the collar's very, very strong on most t-shirts. You get this dust off it, it's awful. You know, the collar's the strongest part of a t-shirt, really. And for it to rip like that, that's just crazy. The second one, not as bad, but still, dry rot has hit quite well. Faith No More, a band that I've loved since growing up. But again, you know, it's one of those things. I had a couple of people, I'd posted some stories on my Instagram talking about the tees yesterday briefly, and I've had a couple of people message me saying I should do like a Hulk Hogan t-shirt rip, but I'm not bothered. I'm going to try and save the Pearl Jam design. So with this one, this is the one that I really, really want to save. Quite a sought after shirt, and it fits perfectly. I'd give it a wash yesterday, and it seems to have come out a little bit stronger than it was first hand. But the fucked bootleg Rage Against the Machine. Wanted one of these for a long time. I've had a few slip through my fingers. Tried sorting a few deals out, but they've always just sort of never seemed to come around. Absolutely gutted when I pulled this one out and did it a little tear. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. So I just tested it at the bottom, somewhere that's, you know, sort of easily concealable. But yeah, I was gutted on this. But to be honest, I washed it, put it on a delicate wash in a pillowcase, and it seems to have come out quite strong. The fact that I can sort of tug on it there and nothing really moves is quite promising. So it's going to get a second wash today. Something, again, a delicate wash in a pillowcase seemed to do a job for me. So hopefully I can salvage that, because that tee for me personally is perfect. The fit was real nice, big and boxy, you know, you can't really beat it. But yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's happened, maybe this is my 5th time with dry rot. It's an awful sight, you know, especially when you love t-shirts as much as I do and as much as people do, you know. Finding Deadstock tees is always perfect, but when they have dry rot, it sort of, you know, turns straight away. It's one of those things, you've got to take the risk and you've got to try it out, and you know, sort of, you've got to take the L, as some people would say, because at the end of the day, if you don't take the L, you're never going to learn from your mistakes, you know. The thing is, with Deadstock, I mean, I found my first Deadstock locker maybe about 2-3 years ago, and a couple of them had dry rot, and it's a real rough time. I've sort of slowed down buying Deadstock because it is quite a risky thing, and you know, sometimes if you say pay up on a t-shirt and it comes dry rotted, you're going to be heartbroken. But you know, it's one of those things, it happens, but hopefully we can save that Rage Against the Machine. So yeah, let me just check. I think we've got 7 t-shirts or 8 t-shirts here. So we've got 3 white t-shirts. So I don't usually buy white tees, as you can see from the rails. There's not much colour on it. Black tees are just sort of something that I've always swayed towards. But when I get shown something like this, I just have to take it. Lovely single stitch, Sid Vicious on an 80s blank. Real nice piece, this one. The photo I took of it last night for my Instagram, I'm really stoked on, because I've got a original Sid Vicious poster up on the wall, so that looks pretty sick. Happy with that. A goofy one. It arrived the day after 420, so I was a little bit pissed on this, but yeah, Official Cannabis Association. Quite a goofy tee, but you know, it's one of those things. People love it, people dig it. In weed we trust. Me personally, I wouldn't wear it, but you know, it's one of those things. It's a talking point. It's nice to have in the collection. So with this one, for people who live in Britain, you know, many varied opinions on Margaret Thatcher. Me coming from the north, you know, my opinions are I'm not too fond of her. But this t-shirt sort of is perfect for me. It's a rip-off of A Nightmare on Elm Street, but instead it's A Nightmare on Downing Street, Part 3, Maggie's Revenge. As you can see there, Maggie Thatcher's face edited onto Freddy Krueger's body. Just perfect, you know. It's got a few stains. It looks like where it's been stored in the plastic bag, it was maybe on like a metal railing and it's just rusted over time. But that's fine. You know, it's adds to the tee, really. Personally, I love it. I wish this would fit, but it's going to stay in the collection because it's one of these things that you probably won't see this ever again. And then we'll get into the remainder of the black tees that survived. So, firstly, again on an 80s blank, we have this Sick Public Enemy. Single stitch again. Really nice piece. Just basic, you know, it fits a little bit small due to it being on an 80s tee. But I think this is the first Public Enemy t-shirt I've ever had, so that's pretty cool to have that. Probably end up going to get rid of that one because, like I say, it doesn't fit. There we go. Maybe this, I think it's the second iced tea t-shirt I've ever had. Double stitch this one, but still, you can tell it's old, you know, just by the printing process and everything like that. Really cool tee. Love the way the blue pops on it. I think it looks really sick. Again, iced tea tees are weird. People want them, but you know, they don't pop up that often. It's a weird shirt to find. So a Pearl Jam survived, which I'm stoked off. This one's more based on Eddie Vedder. Weird ass back print, but that's why I love the Euro bootlegs. They always find something weird to, you know, put on the back or the front. Pretty weird shirt, to be fair with you. Like, I'd seen it and it came in the package and it was like, you know, this shirt includes a back print. And I was like, oh, what's going to be on the back of that? It's probably one of the cooler bootlegs you'd see. You know, I fuck with it, so. And then we've got a Faith No More that managed to survive. Really stoked off this one. It's on the same blank as the Rage Against the Machine. It's just a standard European blank, really. So, obviously, I pulled the Rage out first, saw that was dry rot, and I was like, oh no, literally every tee on that tag's probably going to be the same. But luckily, this one survived. Put it through the wash. They all seem to survive through the wash. So, like with dry rot, sometimes if you put it in the washing machine, it can just splinter and just shred. I had a Leonardo DiCaprio bootleg that once I put it in the washing machine and it just fell to pieces in my hand. Just sort of melted away. It was awful. But yeah, this one survived. Really cool piece on this. When I had it hanging on the line yesterday, this sort of neon colour looked like it would almost glow in the dark. It looked insane. So I'm pretty stoked off that one. Always nice to find a Faith No More shirt. And then he chucked this one in as a gift. So he'd found a load of these bootleg jumpers maybe about 2 years ago. I'd bought quite a few off him. You've probably seen them, the Sex Pistol all over prints and Green Day and stuff like that. But this is a Sepultura Roots, Bloody Roots rip-off. Pretty sick. No Sepultura branding on it, which is quite interesting. But the artwork from the album on the front. Pretty cool piece. It's like a XL, 2XL, so I'll probably keep this one for myself and rock it. But yeah, pretty dope piece. So like I said, that's the lot. He had quite a lot of pieces, but I sort of, you know, picked out, for me personally, what I wanted to have in the collection, or what I think people would like. Thing is, you know, sort of, again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again and again and again, buying dead stock, you've got to be very wary of the things of dry rot, condition and stuff like that, because the reality of it is, all these tees were on the shop floor from the 80s, 90s, up until maybe the early 2000s. They'll stop selling. Massive gap in the market for band shirts and merchandise at the time. So they've all just gone into storage. There was one spot that I'd once been in, and I'd walked down into the basement. I think it was a Backstreet Boys shirt hanging off a hanger from the ceiling, and it was literally hanging by a thread, just because it had been sat there for that long. And you go and feel it. It was so damp, and the dry rot was terrible. It was sort of, you know, collapsing under its own weight on the hanger. All these t-shirts, you know, have obviously just been chucked away and forgotten about, and they're starting to be unearthed now as vintage is becoming popular, as dead stock is becoming, you know, some dead stock tees go for hundreds of pounds, you know, especially the licensed ones, Brockham, Winterland, all that kind of thing. You know, these are all European bootlegs, still sick, quite sought after, you know, all over the world, especially in the US. The European bootlegs, they seem to really like that. But I'm stoked on what I've got, what I've been able to keep. You know, it's heartbreaking that a couple of the tees, you know, are beyond saving, but hopefully I'm going to work on the Rage Against the Machine later today, do another wash of it, you know, leave it to hang dry. It seems to strengthen the material just because the dye, you know, sort of runs away. It's very dusty. If you try and tear them, you see videos of people tearing them and stuff, you don't really want to be breathing in that black dust that comes off of it, because it's awful. Gets on your hands and everything like that. It's just not good. But, you know, that's the risk of buying dead stock at the end of the day. You've got to take the risks, because, you know, you get some cool pieces, you might be heartbroken, but at the end of the day, you've got to do it. So, yeah, that's the video, guys. Like I say, I was hoping I could do an unboxing in the traditional sense of cutting the box and pulling them all out. I just had a feeling that I just wanted to check them and, you know, and check them all over and make sure that we're all good, because I want to try and get the best content possible, rather than having me here having a reaction of just opening a t-shirt and it falling to pieces. No one's going to want that, you know, so yeah. Happy days. So we're going to do another video. The next video is going to be a movie and TV collection. Really, really stoked off that. I think I've maybe got about 10 pieces that sort of cater under that category, so that's going to be our next video. But yeah, I just wanted to showcase these pieces off, talk about dry rot and all that thing. Any questions? Comment down below. Like, comment and subscribe, guys. Like I say, we're going to try and keep the videos rolling. I know people are enjoying it. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Go follow the Instagram. And, yeah, see you on the next video.